E aí, pessoal? Bem-vindos à nossa live. Welcome to our live, guys. How are you? We know in the US today it's Thanksgiving, so it's a very important holiday, and many of you must be celebrating it with your family. But no worries, you can watch this class later today or any other day. Remember, the live classes we do, they stay recorded here on YouTube, so you can find them anytime, okay? So remember to use the comment section, guys, whenever you have a question, anything you would like to know. I'll keep checking the comments, so this can really work as a class, a regular class, much cooler, but in a way that I can check everything that you have there. Hey, Stephanie, tudo bom? I'm glad to see her because we just had a class this week. Stephanie is a yapper, so it's very nice to see when they are here too in this live class. By the way, yapper means a student from the Yes Portuguese private course, okay? Oi, Active Flow, tudo bem? So how is the holiday, guys? Is it okay? Are you guys enjoying it? I know Stephanie is in the US. So what about all of you? Are you celebrating it today or not? By the way, here in Brazil, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. In the official calendar, the Brazilian calendar, with the dates, the holidays, and everything, there's a date, specific date to celebrate Thanksgiving, which in Portuguese we say Ação de Graças, Ação de Graças, and the day is today. But it's not something really celebrated here. It's not one of our holidays. But as I said earlier today or yesterday, it's a shame because it seems to be such a nice holiday. Hey, Jacob, tudo bom? Hey, Andrea, what's up, guys? Tudo jóia? Oi, John, safe. I'm really glad to see you all. So Gage is saying, oi, Ludi, hey from Canada. We celebrate Thanksgiving here last month. Oh, I didn't know that. I really didn't. So you guys in Canada also celebrate it, but in October. Cool. I love to be here because I always learn things with you guys. Hey, no, tudo bom? I also had a class with Noel this week, so it's really nice to see you all here, guys. And Stephanie, she just wrote it perfectly. You know, this is how we say here, Happy Thanksgiving in Portuguese. Feliz Dia de Ação de Graças. That's it, okay? So I wish you all feliz Dia de Ação de Graças. Eu desejo a todos vocês feliz Dia de Ação de Graças. Very happy Thanksgiving. And I think I always make jokes about this thing related to it a lot and everything. But I think the meaning of giving thanks about the things that we have in life, it's important, right? Like to stop one day and review everything that you have, especially this year, which is a very tough year for the whole world, right? A very sad year. So still, I believe we have things to be thankful for. So it's nice to make this review and think about these things and be grateful. It's a nice feeling, right? We feel happier when we feel full of this kind of feeling, right? So learning more. Jacob saying, Thanksgiving in Canada is actually older than that in the US and celebrated in October. Wow, so even older. Very, very cool. Very nice to know that. So let me see. I'm checking if you guys have another question. This question is awesome, Safe. Você viu a Eminha já? Emma, guys, is Adriele's daughter. Adriele is the other teacher here. You guys who are here with us watching our classes every week, you know her. And she was pregnant, and her baby was born last Saturday. I couldn't see her yet. Adriele lives in Carangola. I live in Juiz de Fora. It's not that close, like by car, it's a 4-hour drive travel. So it's something, and also because of COVID, it's complicated to travel right now. My city is really full of cases in this moment, so the best thing is not to really leave if we don't really have to, right? But I'm looking forward to know her, to meet her, and this will happen soon, hopefully. So Jacob didn't also. She's here, guys. You can then go to our Instagram and send a lot of nice messages to Dri. I'm sure she'll be very happy about it. And that's the main reason she's thankful for today. Well, guys, I have something to tell you. First thing, tomorrow is Black Friday. We don't have Thanksgiving, but we do have Black Friday. I believe it's spread all over the world right now, right? Why not? And because of this, we are making a special offer for those who want to make part of the Yes Portuguese School. So if you were just waiting for an opportunity, or if you were just wondering if you should or not join us, guys, this is the moment. It's the last enrollment of the year. We are not sure exactly about the next day will be open the enrollment. And we wouldn't open it now because we had a class in the beginning of October, end of September, beginning of October, and it was supposed to be the last one, but we got a lot of questions about the next class and everything, and then we decided, let's do something related to Black Friday. It will be nice. So this is it. If you are interested, you can join us, okay? There is a WhatsApp group specifically to those interested in joining us. So if you are interested in know about this special offer, everything about the course, how many classes, if we have group classes, individual classes, by the way, we have both. And every question you have, you can ask us. You just tell us here, you can use the comment section, and then we will join you in our WhatsApp group. We are selling, we are actually opening the enrollment only tomorrow, guys. That's why we are saying it's a special offer. It's only tomorrow. So normally we open like for 5 days the enrollment, but not this time. It's only tomorrow. So if you are interested, only Friday, today is 26. Yes, so tomorrow, November 27th, this is the only day, okay? So if you have any questions, send us private messages and we'll redirect you to the WhatsApp group where you can get all of the comments and explanations about the course, the price, everything. So we have some yappers here already saying about our course. So Andrea is saying, such a great course, so well put together. Thank you, Andrea. Obrigada. So Andrea is one of our yappers, so it's always nice to see when they spontaneously say what they think and how they like the course. That's very nice. And she's saying, I was impressed when I signed up and started. I keep being impressed. Yay! Oh, there's more. Gage is also saying, I highly recommend this course, guys. Do it. Thank you, guys. You're amazing. So Can we start? Are you ready? Prontos? Hoje a gente vai falar de preposições. Tema muito importante, né? Preposições sempre são desconfortáveis. They let us a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because they are always challenging. É desafiador usar as preposições corretamente. Isso acontece, gente, porque são muitas as preposições. Muitas vezes a gente sabe o significado delas, mas a gente não sabe exatamente como usá-las. Então, hoje, a ideia é mostrar para vocês uma lista com muitas opções de preposições, para vocês conhecerem essas preposições, a correspondência típica delas no inglês, mas a gente vai ressaltar, ao fim, que o mais importante é saber realmente quais os verbos pedem cada preposição. Porque isso muda muito. Às vezes, aquela preposição que é equivalente a uma preposição no inglês não vai ser a preposição usada com um determinado verbo no português. Ok? So, saying in English now, we are going to show you guys a list of prepositions and the typical correspondence in English. So, what's the main translation for each of these prepositions? But then we'll show you guys some uses of these prepositions, because sometimes a specific preposition is translated in a way in Portuguese, but with a specific verb, we don't use this one that we normally use in English. It will be another one, some preposition which is not correspondent to this first one. You got it? So that's it. So, by the way, I think Dri is here with us. Oi, Dri! Tudo bom? Vai dormir, vai descansar. I'm telling her to go sleep, to go lie down. Okay, she just had a labor, so she was supposed to rest. But she put here, guys, this address, and this is very important for you. The content from this class is already available in our blog. So every week, by the way, we put the content from the live classes in our blog. So if you miss the class and you are in a hurry, you can't really watch the whole class, you can go to our blog and just read the content, because there's like a sum up of everything we discussed. And of course, if you prefer to watch the whole class with more detail, then you can watch it, okay? But this is the address to specifically this content, or you can just type yesportuguese.com, and then you'll find the whole content in our blog, and articles about some previous content, some other content that we didn't discuss recently. So it's very nice. Let me see what else. So Dri saying, tô deitadinha te assistindo. So she's at least resting, guys. It's okay. Let's let her watching us. So, vamos começar então, gente. Eu vou compartilhar com vocês aqui, então, o meu documento. And then I'll show you the blog, okay? I'll use a document because then I can write if I need to write some sentences for you. But then I can show you the blog, okay? So, Safe is saying, Adri é yes, Portuholic. I agree, she's Portuholic. Okay. So, let me put it a little bit bigger. I'm just organizing here. The first thing it's important for us to think, and let me add, now you can see the content. So the first thing about prepositions, guys, is to ask ourselves this question. What is a preposition? Because we talk a lot using these terms from grammar books, but we often don't know exactly what they are. We often remember what is a verb, but we forget sometimes what is an adverb, what is a preposition, what is a conjunction. So what is a preposition? Preposition, guys, it's a kind of word used to connect other words. So that's their function. Sometimes they have some meaning inside them, like we can predict some uses, but they are also very, I don't know the name in English, but I'll try to explain. They are also something that sometimes change completely the meaning, and it's used in a very different way, different from what you had predict, you know. So that's why it's important to know them, the general meaning of them, but you always have to check the verb with which these prepositions being used. You have to check the noun, because sometimes they're used with nouns, adjectives, and so on. So check these words and see what they demand, what they ask for, because sometimes they ask for a preposition that you couldn't like presume, you know? So that's the reason why prepositions are such a hard thing, a challenging thing in language, right? So, but it's not impossible, okay? So the more you listen in Portuguese, the more you study, the more you speak, the more you get used to these prepositions. And then you start to not thinking about them before using them. You start to use them like a native speaker, okay? So don't forget to do, guys, the things that we recommend. By the way, I had a very cool class yesterday night with Noel, and we were talking about these tools. Like, why not change the language on your phone? Like, put it, the apps, at least some apps, you can put them in Portuguese. That's a way to like train your brain, your ears to the Portuguese language without really making a big effort, without really sound like a homework, you know? So if you can do that, for example, we have some students who changed the language for their GPS app, no matter the kind of GPS app they have. So when they are driving and they are getting directions, they have it in Portuguese. And when they do it, they use prepositions, the voice, right? It will use prepositions, sentences. You listen to the sound of the words. So it's a very simple way to really dig into the language. Stephanie is also saying that, yeah, talking to your kids' friends, right, Stephanie, in Portuguese. That's it, guys. This is what you can do, and it's awesome. Many of you are also trying to listen to some podcasts, watch Brazilian movie series. This is awesome, guys. It's a very good way to learn in a simple way, because, for example, if you like, I don't know, you love cooking shows, right? Then you find some on Netflix, for example, and watch them in Portuguese, or shows from Brazil. So you can really listen to the language, but you do that like in a nice way, because you'll be watching a kind of show you like. So that's why it's really smooth. It doesn't have to be hard, right? Okay. So coming back to our prepositions, let's check here some of them. So the first one, guys, a and para. They are very often used in same situations, because they normally mean the same, okay? Normally, a is a little bit more formal and para is more used. So If you're looking to sound more like a native speaker, speak like a regular Brazilian, use more para. It's more used. And it's nice to know that para often becomes, when spoken, pra, right? So Brazilians very often say pra. For example, eu vou pra casa. I'm going home. Eu vou pra casa. So instead of saying eu vou para casa, you could say that. Perfect. But Brazilians will normally just contract this word and say like this. So these two prepositions, they correspond normally to the preposition to in English, okay? So the idea, guys, is to give a direction. So this is the whole idea of this preposition, to indicate a direction, okay? Well, we also have this one. This is a simpler one, I would say, because these first ones, they are very much used, sometimes not only to indicate direction. This is a general meaning. But this one is very specific. So the more specific they are, the easier they are, because they won't be used in so many different situations, okay? So, acima de means above, okay? Above. And here we have another one. Antes de or perante. You can use both, and they generally mean before, okay? Antes de. So actually here we have like two prepositions together, right? Before. And the opposite meaning, após or depois de, which means after, okay? Let me just see if you guys have questions, because if you do, guys, go ahead and use the chat. I'll keep checking it, okay? Marcus is asking, ou mais informal, eu vou na casa. It depends on what you mean, because if I say eu vou para casa, this means I'm going to my home. I don't even need to say minha, because if I just say eu vou para casa, we can all infer that I mean my house, okay? So eu vou para casa. I'm going to my home. But na casa, then would be someone else's house. Like, eu vou na casa da minha mãe. I'm going to my mom's place. Eu vou na casa da minha tia. I'm going to my auntie's house. Eu vou na casa da minha amiga. I'm going to my friend's house. So, na casa would be to refer to someone else's place, not for my own place, okay? Unless I would say, for example, eu vou na minha casa. But then it's more common to listen people saying eu vou para casa, okay? Safe, what is it? Panflex. I don't know this. So maybe I lost something. I think it's another kind of streaming, maybe. I'm just trying to check what you guys are saying. Yeah. So coming back to the prepositions, here we have this one, até. So this is generally translated as until, like up to, okay? Delimiting a point, a limit, okay? Com, on the other hand, means with. So generally, it gives this notion of company, of being with someone, in the company of someone. But as I said, sometimes it's used in a different way, and sometimes it doesn't mean in the company of someone. We also have here como. Como is a tricky word. Actually, I had a class about this topic. I think it was maybe last year or in the beginning of this year. I don't know. But why am I saying it's tricky? Because como, guys, can have so many different meanings. It can be a translation for how, when asking, for example, how are you? Como vai você? But it can also be a conjunction to compare things or people or whatever. So that's why I'm saying pay attention, because this is different, okay? It changes. But here we can translate it as S, okay? So, for example, this is being used like a comparison. So, eu sou como você. I am like you. I did as you did. So, like would be also a nice translation here. So, como, it's very often used with this notion of comparison, okay? And in this case, it can be translated in English as or like, okay? Let me see if you guys have another question. So Marcus has a question. Acho interessante que muitas pessoas falam em, no e na, ao invés de para no português, de para no português informal. Oh yeah, they use it all the time. I'm thinking about some other situations. For example, actually it's more used instead of ao e a, with the accent directed to the left, you know? Because formally I was supposed to say, according to grammar books, eu vou ao mercado. Eu vou ao mercado. So I'm going to the market. But then people mostly say eu vou no mercado instead of saying ao. Ao sounds more formal, and people are more likely to say no mercado. That's what a regular Brazilian would say. But very well noticed. And here is the question, actually. Marcus is asking, qual a diferença entre debaixo e embaixo? This is a good one. I think we could do a class on this topic, actually. I'm thinking about sentences to differentiate them. So let me try to write here. I think it would be better. For example, embaixo, I would use as a translation for below. Below. Yeah, like, no, below would be abaixo. So there's one more. We have abaixo, embaixo e debaixo. So normally we can say that abaixo. If I say abaixo, it means that something is under another thing, but without touching it. So I think the best translation would be below, abaixo, below, okay? Embaixo normally means that this thing that is below is connected in some way with the other thing, which is above. So this would be under, okay? So then we have debaixo. It's the same, because I'm thinking if there's some difference in practice. I can say, for example, meu celular tá embaixo da mesa, so my phone is under the table, or meu celular está debaixo da mesa. So these two, they seem to be pretty much the same. I'll check that, Marcus, if we have other situation where they won't be used the same way, and then I can come back with a whole class about it, or just a story on Instagram explaining this. But this is a good question. But this one is different. Abaixo and embaixo, there's a difference. But embaixo e debaixo seems to be like the same thing. I'm thinking about it. So let me see if you guys have another question. So Alejandro, the difference between na and no. Na. Let me write here for you. It will be better too. Na is actually the addition of the preposition em plus a. So em normally is translated as in, and a is the definite article in Portuguese, but the feminine one. Like em a, it's like in the, okay? So when we put them together, we have na. And no, it's the same, but in relation to the masculine definite article, okay? So when you have to choose between one or the other, you have to check the next word. So you have to make the agreement with the next word. For example, if you say, eu vou, imagine I'm going to say, I'm going to the bakery. Bakery in Portuguese is padaria or confeitaria. This word is feminine, right? So we say, eu vou na padaria. On the other hand, if I say, eu vou mercado, as I said before, mercado, the market, is masculine. Then, because of it, I use no here. So you choose between na and no according to the word which comes after it, okay? If it's feminine, na. If it's masculine, no. That's it, okay? This is a pretty regular pattern in Portuguese. It follows for a, o, as, os, uma, umas, uns, and so on. Okay? Okay then. So, coming back to the prepositions, we were common, right? So now we have this one, de or desde. So we have these two. They can be translated as from, but this changes a lot too. In this case, we are saying that de and desde has a general meaning of pointing an origin, a beginning, a starting point, okay? But it can be translated in different ways. Sometimes it's translated as of, as since, so it can change, okay? Here we have diante de or perante, which we had seen here, but it can also be like a synonym for diante de, perante, which can be translated as in front of, okay? In front of, or de frente, né? De frente para, could also be a translation. And that's the general meaning here, to be facing something, right? Then we had just talked about this one, em, generally is translated as in. Then we have em or sobre. But here we mean when something is over another thing, but touching it. And in this case, in English, we generally translate as on. And in Portuguese is em or sobre. And this, when I say is em, the preposition is em, I'm saying also all these variations like na, no, nas, nos. This is just the preposition put all together with the articles, okay? We have a class about this topic here on Instagram. This was from this year. I showed you how to put prepositions together with articles, how they contract. Because sometimes when we do these contractions, like I showed you here, we have something different, right? So if you put em and then you have to put the article, then you get a different word, something you couldn't really predict. So we have a class where I explain these contractions, the ones we have in Portuguese, and I think it's interesting, okay? You can check here on YouTube, you'll find them. I think there's also an article about it in our blog already. I think so. Then we have entre, which is between, okay? This one is not, it's not a preposition that changes a lot. It could be translated also as among. So among and between Portuguese is same thing, entre. And this one, which we have to make a class specifically about them, because I know they can be really confusing for foreigners. I even have had some classes with yappers about the difference between these two. So these ones can be translated as for in English. And the tricky part is how to translate them to Portuguese, right? So this is enough for a whole class on this topic, okay? If you think it's interesting, we can prepare a class about it. So let me see if you guys have any other questions so far. Let me see. Oh, Jacob will let you guys even more crazy about these prepositions de baixo, embaixo, because there's also sob. You are right, Jacob. We have abaixo, debaixo, embaixo, and sob. Sob is more formal, but it's also a preposition, so that's it. So now that we checked these prepositions, like the general translation for each of them, although as I said, there are some situations to consider. So let's, oh, there's more. Totally forgot about these ones. So just before we check the other things, let's see these last ones. We have perto de, which is near. Notice that we use perto in de. Por, that can be translated as by, okay? But remember, it can also be translated as for. So that's why it's a preposition that you have to pay attention to. And sob, we just talked about. That can be translated as under, and sobre can be about, but can also be over, right? That's it, okay? Well, can also be above, that's it. Can also be above. So, sobre, above, over, that's it. So, now we'll check some specific situations. So, we're going to see some verbs and the preposition that they normally use, okay? So, now, guys, what we are going to focus is that some verbs will go very often together with some prepositions, okay? Sometimes it's a coincidence, it's the same preposition in English, but sometimes it's not, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, I prepared a class, I think it's for January or for December, I'm not sure, where I'll talk about prepositions which are different. So I'll discuss these cases where you expect to use a preposition because the preposition which is normally translated in Portuguese is this one, but then you use another one. So we'll have a topic about these tricky ones soon. Okay, so coming back. So this one, verb estar, to be, remember? But here, remember that estar has a notion of connected to the moment. It refers to the moment, to the situation in the moment. It's very often used to give a location, okay, where you are located in the moment. So if you want to say, for example, they are at home, saying someone's location, right? So then in this case, you're going to use eles estão em casa, because normally when we use verb estar, giving location, saying where we are located, we normally use preposition em, and there its variations like no, na, nos, nas, okay? So this is a very common combination. Also, these are the one, precisar de. And here, guys, you can see that we are seeing some verbs which sometimes doesn't need any preposition, or sometimes they demand a different preposition. So in this case, we used in English at. We can use in depending on the place, right? But in general, in Portuguese, it will be em. But in this case here, the verb need in English doesn't need a preposition. We say we need help. In Portuguese, the verb precisar demands a preposition. So we have to say precisamos de ajuda, precisamos de você, precisamos de comida. Always like de, okay? Always using de. Another one that requires a preposition is the verb voltar. So to return, to come back. When you show where are you coming back to, then to specify this place, you use the preposition para. So for example, check this sentence in English. She returned home late. In Portuguese, I need to put the preposition para. Ela voltou para casa tarde. Ok? Para casa, ou just pra. Ela voltou pra casa tarde. Ok? So, a different situation. Also, number 4, gostar. This one, guys, this is like a champion. Very often, if you're an English native speaker, you guys tend to drop preposition de, because in English, you don't need to put any preposition, right? You just say, I like white wine. I like chocolate. I like you. I like Brazilian music, right? We don't need preposition, but in Portuguese, gostar demands a preposition. This one you can like highlight, write on your notebook, put a star, use, highlights, because this one is very important. It's a very used verb. We use it all the time when we are meeting people, talking about our preferences, things we like. So a very important one. So if you want to say, I like white wine, you must say, eu gosto de vinho branco. Eu gosto de chocolate. Eu gosto de você. Eu gosto de música brasileira. Okay? Always put the preposition de. Okay? So here we have an important question. So, precisar sempre com de? According to grammar, yes, but people often forget to use it. So sometimes we say, when we put another verb after the verb precisar, we often drop the preposition. For example, eu preciso comprar pão. This means I need to buy bread. So in this case, according to grammar, I was supposed to say, eu preciso de comprar pão. But people don't really say it. So when we put a verb after the verb precisar, very often people drop the preposition, okay? But you can use it because according to grammar, it's perfect, it's fine. But just know that people will drop it, okay? But if you put a noun after it, then it would sound very weird if you drop preposition de. Like, eu preciso você. a native speaker would never say that. So you really need to say, eu preciso de você, eu preciso de chocolate, eu preciso de um amigo. So when we put nouns, preposition is mandatory. But if it's a verb, we can drop it. Okay? So, parar. When you wanna mean quit, okay? So, like, she wants to stop working, like, quit working. Then you must say, ela quer parar de trabalhar, okay? So, if you wanna mean quit, stopping doing something, ela quer parar de trabalhar. You need to put the preposition, okay? Because, for example, if I say, ela quer parar para trabalhar, then it means she wants to stop to work, you know, like she wants to stop what she was doing in order to be able to work. So the preposition here is very important. So if you want to mean quit, de, ela quer parar de trabalhar, ela quer parar de fumar, ela quer parar de beber, okay? Then we have começar a. So imagine you want to say this. He started learning Portuguese 1 month ago, okay? When you want to mean that you started to do something, then you say in Portuguese. Ele começou a aprender português há 1 mês. Ele começou a estudar português semana passada. Ele começou a falar português esse ano. Okay, so always when you use the verb começar and a verb, you need the preposition a between them. Okay? Let me see. I'm checking if you guys have another question. Jacob has a nice question. Por aqui and por perto mean roughly the same thing? Yeah, they can mean the same thing. For example, if you ask someone in the street, like, onde fica o cinema? So where is the movie theater? Then the person can say, é por aqui, é por perto. So this means it's close to where they are. It's nearby. So in this case, it would be a synonym, yes. Okay, nearby, that's it. Let me see if you have another question. Okay, I think there's another question here. When did you start it? Eu comecei há 3 meses. Yes, in this case, it's another thing. It's not the same we are seeing in the example. Here, in the example, this is a preposition that you have to use if you have another verb after it, okay? Ele começou a aprender, a trabalhar, a estudar, a falar. So he started learning, speaking, working, okay? So it's a preposition needed. This one you are mentioned there, like, eu comecei há 3 meses. This one comes from the verb haver. And here it's used in the sense of past, like, I started 3 months ago. So the meaning of this with the letter H, H, is ago, like referring to the past, how long you were doing something. So, eu comecei há 3 meses. So you could, for example, it's here, right? It's actually here. So he started learning Portuguese for a month or 1 month ago. Okay? So that's the idea. They are similar, but not exactly the same. And the last one, guys. Let's see number 7. So when you say acabar de, to give this notion of having just finished something, some action, like in English, I just ate, I just arrived, I just saw her. You know, when you want to mean that you just did something, in Português you have this expression, acabar de. Então, acabei de comer, acabei de ver ela, acabei de chegar. So you always need the verb acabar, generally in the past, followed by the preposition de, and the main verb you need to put here in this sentence. So, acabei de chegar, just arrived. Acabei de ver ela, I just saw her. Acabei de comer, I just ate. Okay? So, guys, was this a little bit helpful? We wanted to give you like a whole idea of these uses of the prepositions, like not something separated, because some prepositions are so trickier, like these ones you guys mentioned, like embaixo, debaixo, sob, abaixo, or as para and por, how to use them. These ones, we can prepare a whole class specifically about them. So we can discuss them another time, but the whole idea today was to give you this general idea. So if you want, you can check just clicking here or something. You can check on our blog these specific article. So you'll have all of these prepositions and the typical translations that we have for them. And also, more important actually, these verbs, how to use this verb, which are different in English, right? Because as you saw, many of them are used in a different way in English. So it's important for you to check not only the correspondence, but also these verbs specifically combined with a certain preposition to give a specific meaning. So this list is nice. So if you want to, you can check it on our blog later. It will be available, okay? Let me see if you guys have any other question. Marcus is asking, que tal acabei dormindo? So in this case, the meaning is different. It's like, I end up sleeping. Acabei dormindo, when you use the verb acabar in the past. And another verb in this form we call gerúndio, this form ending in NDO, then the meaning is, acabei dormindo, I end up sleeping, okay? Notice that there's no preposition in this case, and the verb which comes after acabei is not in the infinitive form, is in the gerúndio, okay? Acabei dormindo. So I end up calling him. Eu acabei ligando para ele. I end up going to the party. Eu acabei indo para a festa. So it's a nice expression too. John, eu tenho que cortar o peru. Muito obrigada pela. Muito bem. Guys, I'll let you guys free. I'll set you free. I know you guys have a lot to do, to eat a lot. You have a turkey waiting for you. So I'll let you guys go. I'm jealous. I want to eat a turkey too. I'll try to find something here. You know, turkey here in Brazil is for Christmas. Normally, the Christmas Eve, the most typical dinner for Brazilian would be turkey. Christmas Eve. Okay? Okay, guys. So, valeu, Gage. Valeu, John. Yes, that's good, Andrea. I'm happy. Hey, Peter, I haven't seen you. Que bom que você gostou. Group class on these prepositions would be helpful, Lud. Good idea. Good idea. Safe. Maybe next week I'll try to do something with this for you guys. Okay? You gave me some ideas. This is good. Guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful holiday for you guys who are having a holiday. And I hope to see you soon next week. And for you guys, Yappers, Saturday we have a meeting, ok? Beijos, até mais. Tchau, gente. Valeu.